Hello, and we are in video number 3 of my Simple Project Planning and Simple Project Management series. What I'm going to be talking about today is probably going to be the longest of the videos, and this is project planning. The reason that this is potentially going to be the longest one is because project planning is really what I consider the most important phase of the project management process. And a lot of people consider it, who are in project management, also consider this incredibly important because the more of a plan and the better plan you have and the better plan you're able to put together, the better you're going to be able to execute on your project and get it done within all your constraints successfully and have it do what you want it to do. Um, so the project plan takes a lot of little different pieces to it. It's not just, oh, well, first I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this. Instead it's looking at different portions of the entire project, planning for those portions, and then putting them all together into an overall plan. Now the thing about this is a project plan can be very, very detailed, or a project plan can be very, very simple. The thing that's going to drive that is the complexity of your project. You don't want to put a lot of effort into creating an elaborate project plan for something that is a very simple project. You may be able to do a lot of the project planning just sketching it out here and there in a few bullet points and saying, oh, well, for quality, I just want to have somebody proofread the piece. Or for cost expenditures, you might look and say, oh, well, I've got to go get get X resources and I'm just going to be charging those to the company card or whatever. It's really dependent upon the complexity of your project. So, what I'm going to do is just kind of give you a high level overview on all of this and let you see that you can adjust this to your project because really one of the things that they talk about in project management principles is the idea of tailoring your project, tailoring to your project. So first what you're going to do is you've got your charter from the last video, which has your high level needs, it has your list of stakeholders, and you're going to use that charter to start talking to your stakeholders and start scoping your project. You're going to figure out exactly what your project is. What are you building? What are you designing? What are you making, writing, whatever? And the reason you want to have the scope done is because you don't want to get through your project and realize that, oh, I've included a whole bunch of things that are absolutely not necessary and are going to just have to be scrapped. Or you get through and realize that your project, your deliverables are not at all aligned to what the business case of this project are and what this project needs. So, what you need to do is talk to your stakeholders, start doing a little bit of research, look at past things that have been done, start gathering your requirements. Gathering requirements is one of the most important things for scoping out a project. You're going to figure out from everybody and from experts and from other people involved and who might be involved what you need to do for this project. What are the things that are going to be involved in it? From there, you're going to take your scope, you're going to create a work breakdown structure or WBS. You might have seen this at other points in your career, in your role. And what the work breakdown structure is going to do is it's going to give you a progressively more detailed picture of what work is going to be done for your project. You may start out with, okay, well, I'm going to keep coming back to this social media campaign because it's something fairly easy um, to kind of get my head wrapped around and your head wrapped around, because there are certain phases, certain things to do with it. You've got your writing and designing, you've got your scheduling, you've got your tracking, or you might look at your work breakdown structure from something entirely different, from a different point of view. But what I'm doing is I'm just taking different pieces of the project and different timelines and fitting together a work breakdown structure of that. What you need to do is figure out how your project is going to break down in terms of work, and then you start developing that. You develop your WBS, figure out what each piece entails, and as you're going into that, you can look and say, oh, well, this part of my project is going to have some costs involved in it. It's going to have to work off of this kind of schedule. I'm going to have to go in and find someone who can do this aspect of the project, whether it's writing, whether it's graphic design, whether it's coding, whatever it might be, and have that person work on it so you know that you've got resources. Because these are some of the other plans that you have to develop in project management. You, like I said, it doesn't have to be detailed. Tailor it to your project. But you should be able to have some sort of plan for your costs, how you're going to manage it, what you're looking for, what kind of budget you have. You need to have a plan for your schedule, what kind of time frame you're looking at, what kind of milestones you're expecting to hit. Milestones are specific things in the project that get done that people are looking for. It's like, oh, well, we've got all the writing done. Now the writing needs to be checked and approved. So that's a milestone. That is part of your project that is a definite thing to look at. Um, you go on from there and you've got your quality. How are you going to assess your quality? What are you going to do to control and affect your quality? Are you going to pass it to one person to proofread? Are a couple of people going to proofread it? Are you going to have other people outside of the department look at it because it affects them, so that they can say, "Oh, yes, you're using that term correctly, and you have a handle on what's going on here." So what you are doing is you are developing all of these little mini plans within your project plan in order to help successfully complete the whole project. Other things to think about are communications and your stakeholders. You need to be able to say, okay, well, how am I going to deliver important information to people in a timely manner and get the feedback that I need? And also, how am I going to manage the expectations of certain people who are important to the project, who are working on the project, who will benefit from the project? You've got to kind of put all these things together. And like I've said in the other videos, what you're going to see below is there's going to be some links for downloads that will kind of give you a little bit more about each of these plans. But the whole idea of your plan is it's not just step by step what you're going to do, it's how you're going to manage all of the aspects of the things that you are doing within the project, whether it's cost, whether it's scheduling, whether it's actual execution, whether it's keeping people from tacking things onto your project that have absolutely no bearing to the project. Scope creep. We'll talk about that at some point as well. But I hope this has given you an idea of what goes into project planning, simple project planning techniques and tips. And if you have any questions, like I've said before, go ahead, contact me through LinkedIn, email me, check out my website, talk to me through that, and I would be happy to address your questions. Hope this is working well for you, and I will see you in the next step, execution.